Articles of impeachment have been drafted against President Trump after the deadly riots at the Capitol. Josh Blackman, a professor of law at the South Texas College of Law in Houston, joins us live to talk more about that. Good morning to you, and I'm glad you're joining us to talk about this because in the beginning, after the riots, we kept hearing about possibly the 25th Amendment, where the vice president would take over. But now we're hearing from lawmakers about impeachment. Why the change and what's going on with this?
Well, there are two standards. First, the 25th Amendment allows the president and a majority of the cabinet to temporarily remove the president. At this point, it seems that Mike Pence is not going down that road. He's not going to try to remove the president from office. So plan B is impeachment. Impeachment allows the House and the Senate to remove the president from office permanently.
And you can't help but wonder if there's any way this could happen within 12 days. It seems almost impossible because things just don't move that quickly. Is that correct?
Well, generally, impeachment takes some time. From last year, remember, it took more than 2 or 3 months for the entire process to finish. The idea of doing it in a couple days is really not feasible, although if the House was motivated, they could vote on this tomorrow and force the Senate to hold a trial. Now, here's a point that we have to keep in mind. The impeachment clause may still be relevant after Trump leaves office. One of the punishments for impeachment is to disqualify him from holding any future appointed office. At that juncture, it could actually have some consequences after he leaves Washington, D.C. So it's possible, theoretically, that you can impeach someone who's not even a sitting president. And that might be what the Democrats are trying to do. I don't know.
As you look toward the future, what would a second impeachment mean for the president's political future?
Well, it's very unlikely that he'll be convicted. To convict someone with an impeachment, you need a 2/3 vote. And I don't think that many Republicans would vote to convict him, especially if he's out of office. So more likely than not, nothing would come of it. But I think it would illustrate that Congress was very, very, very troubled by what happened on January 6th and thought that his conduct was impeachable.
As you teach something like law, what do you talk to students about during all of this? I'm sure they have so many questions. Is it a topic in class going on right now?
Thankfully, we're still on winter break, which is great for me. But next week when we come back to South Texas.
Okay.
Next week when we come back to South Texas College of Law, Houston, I'm sure I'll get questions about it. And I think what students and people watching should know is that we're living through history. These are momentous times. Before President Trump, we only had 2 presidential impeachment trials. Now we may have 2 in the span of a year. So we're living in very unprecedented, troubled times where we don't know what's going to happen. Most political debates are somewhat predictable. Either A happens or B happens. But here there's a uncertainty of where things are headed. I think that makes it an important time to pause, reflect, and consider what exactly is going on in the moment.
All right. Well, Professor Blackman, certainly some interesting conversations to take place in yours very soon. Take care, and thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.